Hello you guys, welcome. This video that we're about to consider is called Nothing Could Be Any Other Way as Freedom. Now, the intent of this video isn't to evaluate whether this is true or not true. That would be completely irrelevant and just more thought stuff. The intent of this video is to take the wind out of the sails of thinking, claiming absolute importance and claiming to be who we are. So in the considering of this video that we're about to watch, look at your own life experiences in light of these words and see what that does for you. See what inner spaciousness that cultivates for you. And please leave comments about your favorite part or what your experience was in applying this in your own path to awakening. Also, don't forget to like the video and subscribe and enjoy. Hello guys. Welcome to another video. What if you knew that every moment was exactly as it should be for unknown reasons to you now? What would that give to you? What relief could you find in that? Unknown reasons to you now. When we examine the reason why we do anything and the origin of the conclusion, the reason, and even the reasoning itself, we can come to see that due to all the components that was reasoned and due to the reasoning itself, the conclusion couldn't be any other way. That's the conclusion you would come to, given all the components, all the constituents, all the parts, all the dynamics that you're accounting for. That's the conclusion you would come to every time. Even if the conclusion you would come to is, I don't know. Given all the current reasoning, given all the current constituents, all the parts, the whole dynamic, everything that you're aware of and not aware of that's influencing the reasoning, you would come to the same I don't know every time. The only time it would change is if you had more to reason with. So in 5 minutes, it could change. Well, 5 minutes ago, it would have been different. A week from now, a year from now, a week ago, a year ago. This is fascinating when you really start to think about it. Because what does it mean? If that's true for you, then it's also true for everyone else. And what do people do with the conclusions they draw? They speak, they say words based on it, or they do things, they have actions based on it. And if everything everyone does and says in each moment is based on exactly their reasoning and their reasoning ability and all of the parts, constituents, and the dynamic present at the time they were reasoning, then that means everything and everything everyone says and everything everyone does couldn't be any other way. And each moment is a perfect amalgamation of exactly what couldn't be any other way in each moment. This is best when examined on an individual level, and then apply what you see on an individual level to the collective, to everyone. Because you can see it in yourself most clearly. You know the things that are important to you. You know the things that are not important to you. You know the things that you want, things that you don't like, don't want. So, due to all those components, due to your reasoning ability, which is a result of all of those past components, all of the past experiences with working with components. Your reasoning now is a result of all of that. So, it couldn't be any different than it is now. Its ability now. And so what's fascinating about this and the present moment is through reasoning, we can start to see that nothing could be any different than it is now. In each moment, you can watch the things come together like Tetris or like a jigsaw puzzle. And know that in this moment, it couldn't be any different than it is due to everyone's current capacity at reasoning and all the constituents, parts, and dynamic that they had available to them to reason with whenever they made the choice or said the thing. That means that every moment is constantly fitting together in only one way. And it will never fit together this way again. I'm not trapped by this one way. This isn't a trap. This isn't a lack of considering free will or free choice. This is seeing evolution alive. Seeing creation of all. Seeing that process, seeing that movement. And when it comes together, not being able to be any other way, it's also influenced by the way it has come together. And that's how it's changed. That's why it will never be that way again. That's why there'll be different choices made in the future. sometimes it collides heavily. And there's the human experience of pain, confusion, difficulty. But these two are the result of everything that has been before. Desires, aversions, past experiences reasoned with. Recognizing the results of the past experience and how the knowing of the different choice will make in the future. And so these challenges and pain and confusion that comes from the coming together of a moment that couldn't be any other way is the result of all of that. Every moment is the result of all history. And all desired future too. So each present moment is the result of everything and couldn't be any other way. It's the result of what we've had our attention on in the past, what we've cultivated as attributes, what we have avoided, and so turned into charged reactions. And so if the moment couldn't be any other way than it is, then what can you do besides observe it? And this is where the fascinating part comes in. Quantum physics says that what is observed is changed by merely the act of observing it. So in the quantum physics double slit experiment, they send particles through these two slits in a wall. And when they approach the two slits, they start to behave unorthodoxly. As they come out the other side, they start to exhibit wave patterns, as if a function of light, as if a function of energy versus a particle of matter. But then, when an observer is attempting to record this, all of a sudden, it starts to behave like you would expect again. It starts to behave like a particle would. Merely by the act of observation. So when we come to this conclusion that nothing can be any other way than it is, then it frees our mind up to be the observer. It frees our mind from physical thinking. It frees our mind from
the drama of our self-talk. It frees our mind up of the habitual internal dialogue to just observe. And in the act of observing, is where the change happens. Huge important part right here. Our mind thinks that the free will and free choice comes from the capacity to think of a different choice and then choose it and then move forward with it. But this constant evaluating of what choice ends up being more of a trap for us than freedom. And so this recognition that what is present couldn't be any other way in this moment, then it frees our mind up to the freedom, to experience the freedom that we're really wanting by having free choice, free will. So which freedom do you want? I love you all.
All right, you guys, that was this week's video. If you liked it, please subscribe. And if you're interested in more, check out the link below in the description for the online class. Most importantly, remember yourself as the one who sees.